All right.
Here
I
it
think we
comes.
got to minus 100. Welcome everybody to episode number 5 of season 1 of It Is What It Is. We have got a fun prompt, a classic prompt today. We've got elves on my side versus goblins over on Country Fried's side. Before we jump into talking about the decks and just hanging out with my good buddy Country Fried here, we gotta acknowledge everybody who has been watching the series and hanging out with us here. We really do appreciate it. It's an absolute pleasure to have you guys enjoying the series. Hopefully subscribe to both channels, watching both sides, because you do get exclusive content on both channels. So want to ensure that you show some love to everybody here. But Country Fried, dude, how you feeling about the prompt this week?
The prompt this week, I mean, it sounds real easy, real straightforward,
Yeah.
but it's a little difficult to get janky with.
Dude,
It really is.
yeah, I kind of ran into that same boat. I looked at a number of different elf builds, and I ended up going with more like I need to win the game versus I need to be janky because of how poorly I'm doing in this season. But that being said, we'll see if we can pull off what this deck is trying to do, because I do have kind of a little combo element. It's not unsuspected, the combo element, though, I will say. But did you land on the jank side of yours?
No, I really didn't. It's almost more like the humans, just a whole lot of synergy.
Okay.
But there's a few surprises.
I
don't
like
know
that.
I don't know if they'll fall in. But
Okay.
There's a few surprises. There'll be some class reunion style cards that drop in.
Okay.
Surprise.
Dude, I'm in. I think it's going to be a blast. This is a classic matchup. I mean, I think it's fair to say Elves versus Goblins has been around since basically the inception of Magic. Very, very long time. And this is kind of a tried and true matchup. We've seen Elves dominate in certain matchups, and then we've also seen Goblins at different times, especially in Standard, kind of take the reins. But I would say, historically speaking, I would think Elves has the advantage. I'll be honest. However, I don't know if that means historic format that Elves has the advantage. We certainly have some pieces, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, definitely. What is it? Elf Ball?
Yeah.
Elf Ball's been around forever.
Yeah.
Goblins, I don't know about Goblins and historic. The synergy's there. It really is. But
Yeah.
I know Goblins and Commander can get way out of control.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Again, I think the decks are going to synergize really well with what our picks are. If I get ran over by Elves, I wouldn't be surprised. They got a lot of great cards, man.
Yeah.
And in this game, mana's king, so
Yeah, that's pretty true. And I think, again, because Elves has a number of little pieces that can, we'll say, utilize the deck more often than Goblins. I would suggest that, again, Elves doesn't peter out maybe quite as quickly is the best way I can describe it. But that being said, I think, in historic, and I'm speculating because I have no idea what you built. That's one thing we should note at this point in this series, is that we do not see each other's decks prior to this. So we have no idea what the other person's going to bring to the table. But, with historic, you do have things like Krinko. You've got the Hobgoblin. You've got things that can deal massive amounts of damage very, very quickly. And so I think in the early turns of the game, you might have the advantage. I think you can get stuff out pretty quickly, whereas, mine can do that, but it might take a few turns. We'll see. But I'm pretty excited to see how this one actually shakes out.
yeah, no, absolutely correct. I think the more legs the game has, the
Yeah.
stronger your deck gets,
Yeah.
and mine starts to fizzle. But yeah, we'll definitely see. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not even a Goblin player, but
Yeah.
here we go.
Dude.
We go.
Let's do it. Here we go, indeed. Guys, we're going to jump into our individual deck techs here. Please, again, make sure that you are checking out the other person's channel, because we do have exclusive content, including the deck techs and the perspective on the gameplay on those people's channels. So you want to check out both. But let's jump into those deck techs now, and then we'll obviously jump into the games right after that. Here we go. All right, guys, so let's talk about our Elves deck this week. This is a relatively straightforward Elves deck. This does feature the Craterhoof Behemoth kind of combo that we expect to see, with a couple of other things added in that we'll kind of talk about. We're actually going to take this one slot at a time, and in the one drop slot here, nothing too crazy. We have two Allosaurus Shepherds. I don't expect him to be countering a lot of stuff. It is a Goblins deck after all, and so I didn't feel we needed to go too crazy with this. That being said, though, that 6 mana ability there until the end of the turn, each elf you control has base power toughness 5/5. That's pretty powerful, and that's certainly a game-ending style mechanic. And so I wanted to be able to really reliably incorporate that if we can. And so 2 seemed like the right number to me. It's not like it's the only game-ending combo or game-ending kind of ability that we have, and so I didn't need to go for the full 4, but it is a very powerful one indeed. Finally, we do have Jaspera Sentinel and Llanowar Elves. Both of these are obviously here for ramp. I do have more of the Llanowar Elves than the Sentinels. In my opinion, the Elves are just a strict upgrade. Despite the fact that the Sentinel has reach, again, we're going to be facing Goblins, so I'm not expecting a lot of flyers or anything along those lines. In the 2-drop slot, we do have, of course, Elvish Warmaster, the full 4. This is going to spit out a lot of extra elves for us, and at the very least, in the early turns of the game, that might be just blocking elves, but later in the game we can certainly see how that would help take over and really combo off and get a big attack in. We do have Elvish Visionary. This is going to continuously draw us some cards. We are pretty light on lands, and so I want to make sure that we're drawing into the things that we need to draw into, whether that be a land or just a big bomb or a big threat or something like that. We do have Skyshroud Lookout as a 2-of here. I didn't want to go too crazy because, again, this isn't like a high value card for us. It does replace itself, which is very important, but that reach isn't really that powerful in this matchup. And then again, it is just a 1/1 for 2, so it's not the best value. That being said, if we've got some of our lords out, like the Elvish Clancaller, it certainly gets a little bit better. And so we do have the full 4 of the Clancaller here. Giving other elves +1/+1 is very good. Being able to deck thin with that ability and get more of the Clancallers out is certainly a good ability as well. We may be able to sneak in some things where, you know, if he's trying to burn out a creature or something like that, if we have the mana available to us, we can just pull out another Clancaller, hopefully lord up everything else, and then maybe get it out of that burn range. Now, for burn, of course, we do have Heroic Intervention. I'm including this right now as a 2-of. Gives hexproof and indestructible to everything on our field, which is very good. We are going to have to be very cautious and do a little bit of, you know, kind of probing in game 1 to see what kind of burn opportunities he is going to have, if any, or just other kill spells. He could go black-red, and so there's going to be a lot of options there. I want to make sure that we've got this available to us in the main board from the get-go. In the 3-drop slot, some very key cards. So first and foremost, we've got Fierce Empath. Now, this is a 1/1 for 3. That doesn't sound very good, but it searches out a creature with 6 mana value or greater. In this case, that's Craterhoof Behemoth. That is the big game ender. If we can get this out with a handful of elves on the field, we should be able to win the game on the spot. So this is really going to help us out. This gets it into the hand that we can then, of course, throw it out onto the battlefield. Imperious Perfect, another lord for us. We've got the full 4 here. Not only that, though, but this does spit out other elf tokens. So in a situation where, you know, we might be light on lands or we just don't have a follow-up play, we brick and draw another land, this still gives us an opportunity to at least spit out another creature. Maybe it's a blocker, maybe it's an offensive threat, whatever it might need to be. And so certainly a good card here. I'm including one Marwyn the Nurturer. I didn't really want to have too many of these, but the fact that Marwyn actually adds mana is just a really big bonus for us here. It also gets those 1/1 counters anytime another elf is put onto the battlefield, and so we should be able to level this thing up pretty quickly. This is going to be a must kill in my view, because again, if it gets too many of those counters on it and he is looking to just burn out all of our elves, this will get out of hand very quickly. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Realmwalker, one of my all-time favorite cards for elves in particular. It's a 2/3 for 3, but it is a changeling, so it is an elf. And then you choose elf when it comes into play, and then you can just play elves off of the top of your deck, which is kind of insane because, again, most of our deck, we're light on lands. Most of the deck is just elves. And so theoretically, we should be able to throw a bunch of these out there. Elvish Archdruid, another lord for us. We've got the full 4, but more importantly, tapping for a green for each elf we control. That's a powerful ability in this deck. That allows us to get Craterhoof out very quickly, as well as just play multiple elves. So very curious to see if we can get that one going. Really love the Archdruid. Finally, we have Collected Company here. This is obviously, it's an auto include for elves. It hits basically everything in our deck aside from the Craterhoof Behemoth and I guess the Heroic Intervention and lands, but the majority of our deck gets hit by Coco, and so we want to make sure we get this out, especially if we can hit some of these 3-drops. We can really go crazy with this and just really take over the game. Again, Craterhoof Behemoth, we only have one here, but this is the big finisher of the deck, and I'm very excited to see if we can get that down. We do have a Castle Garenbrig and a Lair of the Hydra. Don't expect to use the Lair of the Hydra except for blocks. This is an elf deck after all, so I don't really want to use it, but it does give us a little bit of a blocker just in case we need to survive a little bit longer, and then we do just have 15 forests. So total of only 17 lands, but keeping in mind, we've got a lot of ramp opportunity, and so really we don't need but 2 or 3 lands to really go off. I understand that is a much lower land count than you would normally see in a historic elves deck. I'm giving it a shot. Having tested it, it doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. So we're going to try it. That might come back to haunt me. We will see, but I do really like that. Finally, in the sideboard, we do have a few interesting cards here. So Heroic Intervention, again, we have a 3rd one here just to be able to protect our stuff. Shaper's Sanctuary is a card that I thought would be kind of interesting to test out here. It's a 1-mana enchantment, so not a lot of investment, but whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, you just get to draw a card. Now, that doesn't seem all that powerful because you still kind of, if they're burning out creatures, if Country Fried decides to, lightning strike something or whatever, then it still dies, but we replace it, which is very key for this deck because everything is so high value. 2 cards here for Inscription of Abundance, This gains us some life, it throws some counters around, and it fights stuff off. All of those are very important things, in my opinion. If there is something, we don't have removal in this deck, and so if there is something we need to fight off, we can side these in as an instant speed way to do so. We do get some very powerful threats overall, especially if we lord things, and so I wanted to get that available to us. 2 Thorn Lieutenant here. Again, this is just another way to kind of de-escalate the burn process. If we've got a couple of these out, then anytime they are the target of a spell or an ability, we get a little 1/1 elf creature token in its place. And so I feel like that might be worth it. We'll see. It's also just a 2/3 for 2, which is pretty good value because it's going to be able to block pretty efficiently. Now, it does also have that +4/+4, which isn't bad either. Finally, we do have Rex Sage here. I don't know that he's going to have too many artifacts or enchantments, so I didn't go too crazy here, but wanted to have that in there just in case we needed it. Guys, if you look at this elf deck, I understand this looks like a more, straightforward elf deck. It does have the Craterhoof combo, but that's about it. I need to get a win. That's just the reality of it. I thought I was going to be able to last time. I've done a tribal deck when we were doing dogs versus cats that was a little bit crazier. And it did get a win, but it did not get the full win. And so I want to give this a shot. I want to see if we can finally get a win in this series. We're halfway there and we haven't gotten a win, guys. We got to do a little better. So hopefully this works out. We will see. Let's jump straight into the games.
All right. I play first, man. I'm not drawing first. I'm playing first.
I think playing first in this matchup is like a really, really big deal. I'm a little worried about that, but we'll see if this works. Do I like this hand? I'll try
it. My goodness. I'm going to have to mulligan to 5.
Oh, no. Are you serious? To 5?
Wait until you see this video.
Okay.
Okay. Well, no, I'm mulligan anyways. I could tell you. I have 7 lands.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Dude, what in the world? Well, good luck with that.
I think I'm having trouble with the client.
I think maybe you might be. Wow,
what is going on with this? Okay, that's fine. 5's fine here.
If it helps, my hand's a little slow.
Oh my gosh, what is this?
We'll see how this actually pans out. I'm not super confident, but we're gonna try. I think my spirit's broken from this season. I'm not gonna lie. I think because I've lost 4 in a row.
No, don't say that.
I'm just saying. There it is. The den is here. Fully expected that, and fully expected the firebrand. All right.
Yep. No, man.
I got a slow start.
This is the season where you're trying to dip your toe into playing the jank side of things too.
That's true. I mean, I do play jank, but a lot of it is like on the ranked ladder, so I still feel like I have to kind of push it. But all right, this is step one. It's not very good because we got options, but that's fine.
Okay, I gotta click my audio here in game. For some reason, it's really loud.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
You feel better about that?
Yeah, I feel better.
Good.
Oh, this is cute.
Yeah, right.
Look, I'm not an Elves Goblin player, so I'm gonna be reading a lot of cards.
No, please, by all means. You definitely should read a lot of cards in this matchup.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's so good.
It's ridiculous, man.
That's really, really good.
Existed.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I thought you might go black-red. I was kind of under the impression you would be. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go this route. All right. So we're gonna name Elf, and we got a Realmwalker out here. I really like Realmwalker in this list, by the way. Super, super good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see if it actually sticks, because I have to imagine you can kill stuff.
I'm trying to think of what I want to do here.
Got options, man. You do your thing.
Not a whole lot.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. All right, I'm into that. Yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, that's sick. You got lifelink and goblins to work.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
I was like, he may have recursion. He may have hexproof. He may even get elves to indestructible. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna let things ride here for a sec. I think it's pretty clear what the option is here. I definitely had a much slower start than I was hoping for. Like, I had no one drop, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this just to be safe. All right.
Oh, we got combat tricks.
We got Coco, buddy.
Nice.
Gotta have Coco.
Coco being an instant speed blows my mind.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man. It's so stupid. All right, let's do this and this. Perfect. Those are two really good plays.
I gotta be honest, I'd rather deal with Faceless Haven.
Yeah, right? Faceless Haven, man. All right, let's see what happens. Do you have a trick? You got one card left. Oh, you're just gonna fire it off there. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
rid of it. Fine. We
if
get
I'm
rid
going
of that
down
one.
anyways, we're all going down.
Yeah, dude, for sure. All right. Let's see. What's the best option here? I think it's this.
Nice.
Archdruid is so freaking sick, man.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was he in? No, it wasn't him in Scars that I was thinking of. I think it was it Thrun?
Thrun, the last troll.
Thrun, yeah.
Dude, Thrun is sick. All right, we're getting some damage in at the very least here.
Thrun was actually the first pack I ever opened was a Scars pack.
For real?
That was my rare. That was my first rare.
That is a sick first rare.
Yep, and
you
my
got
whole
Ember
life.
Cleave. Screw you, man. I just noticed that. And you have Fling. What is this?
Stuff. It's stuff.
It
man.
is stuff.
But I don't think I can do anything.
No, I don't think you can. I think
No.
I think we're gonna get this one. We'll see, but yeah, dude, go for it.
Coco outpaces everything.
Coco's just so much value, it's ridiculous. All right, let's spit out a little token here. I say little, it's just a free 3/3, and then I get another 3/3 for free.
Yeah. Yeah, all of this seems fair.
Can we win this turn is the question.
Imperious Perfect.
Let's add up again. So we're gonna get another
Mm.
All right.
Well, oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, dude. I have to. I have to win this week. I'm telling you.
Let me just pause this moment on screen.
Let's just see how big we get, just out of curiosity.
It's gonna be real big.
It's gonna be real big. Yeah.
Big. It's Craterhoof, man.
Oh, you know what? I missed out on an opportunity.
Oh, nice.
My fault. I could have included another one. That was my fault.
Awesome.
I didn't count correctly.
This looks like a board I'd build.
Hey, do I win?
I don't know. I got lifelink.
You do have lifelink. Hold on, guys. Everybody calm down.
The question is, you
heck
get me
yes.
to negative 100.
Pretty close.
Oh,
Pretty close. I think if I had played the Clancaller first, I might have been able to. Dude, I finally got a win.
That was fantastic.
All right. What do we need? What do we need?
Mine says I'm currently Oh, you know what I forgot?
You don't
to
have
do?
a sideboard? All right. So here's what we'll do. In the interest of fairness, I won't sideboard either, and we'll just keep this one rolling.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
No, we got this.
I honestly don't know what I'd even sideboard into this, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of great options, but it's all good. We got this. All right.
I don't think I got this.
I think
What
I'm
is
just
going on with these
entitled to
draws?
keep this with this. We'll see. I don't feel super optimistic again about this hand, but obviously it worked out last time, so we'll see.
Nice.
You got Blast Zone in the deck. Of course you do.
Well, yeah, man, you're running elves.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very fair point. All right, let's draw a card.
Now I just need another land. Oh, we're not gonna do land.
Or you just
That's
don't
cool.
want land?
I do, but
just can't have
the deck
it.
doesn't want to give it to me.
I think I just take it.
Elvish Visionary. Seriously, if I play a green commander deck, I have Elvish Visionary in it.
Oh, it's so good, dude. All right, let's see what I want to do, because we do have, again, some options. I think we go this route and hope for the best. And I will attack in here. Get as much early damage as possible. Let's just trade blows. We got this. Oh, good. That comes into play tapped. That's really helpful.
It is. It is.
Awesome. I like it. Let's see.
Oh, man.
This is kind of an interesting place to be. I'm gonna main phase Coco.
Nice. Seems
what we get.
legit.
Oh yeah, those are two really good options.
So fast.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see. We'll go Realmwalker.
Yeah, why not?
Just so we got a place to throw all that extra mana. And let's go Skyshroud Lookout. I didn't know this card existed, Skyshroud Lookout, and I love it. It seeks an elf out of the deck, which is just kind of sick. A little bit of deck thinning.
A little bit.
I'll attack
Man,
in. If you want to trade, that's cool.
what is this?
Elves, dude. Elves is freaking ridiculous.
It's so much faster than goblins.
Yeah.
I knew I should have played 1/1s with haste and cavalcade or calamity, cavalcade, whatever
So,
that is.
I genuinely thought you were gonna do the token strategy where you just go like Krinko, like heavy on Krinko, and hit that route. But
If I could get to them.
you do have Krinko.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Look, I kind of feel bad at this point.
I kind of feel bad too. No, don't, man. Don't feel bad. If you want to feel bad, go back and look at my clips that you have at the starting of each of my videos. You won't feel bad no more.
That's true, yeah.
You just keep doing your thing.
We'll go ahead and play this Fierce Empath.
So if anybody wanted to know if elves were stronger than goblins.
Now we know. We did the thing. I would love to take that action. Let me grab that.
Oh my gosh. Craterhoof's so nice.
So sick, dude. Absolutely ridiculous. Here's the thing, though. I kind of want to set a little goal for myself to get you to minus 100.
Okay.
So we're just gonna let.
I don't think I'm
ride.
getting through that wall anytime soon.
Unless you have a sweeper, but
Not this type of sweeper.
good. That's helpful. All right, we'll just pass.
And not your counters on all your elves are outpacing pretty much anything I can do.
So that was exactly my thought. Was if you're gonna go like burn heavy, I just need to outpace with lords for the most part. All right, dude. Goblin Chieftain is a sick card, but a little late to the party, I think.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Man, instead of the 300, I'm just the 3. So it's like,
Man, it's all good. It's all good.
goblins, man, you got to give it to them. They'll stare it right in the face.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, yes. But we are going to go as crazy as we can go because this is elves and that's just what we got to do. Elf, please.
I would need about 20 more lands to fall on the board right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's Craterhoof. But wait. Don't worry, we're not done yet. Because we can activate Elvish Warmaster. Just because. And just for the sake, nah, I won't do that. That would be silly. All right. I think we got to minus 100.
Spartans.
Yes, let's go. I went pretty heavy on elves this time, man. I had to get the win.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
Your whole board's blinking.
Yeah. Oh shoot. 200. 300.
Nice.
All right, so at this point, though, before we jump into the next piece of this, do you want to do a game 3 where you kind of get to show off what your deck does? Because we always have that deal. I want to make sure if you want to do that, we get that opportunity.
No, actually, I think I'm okay. And it's not because I lost or anything like that. It's just goblins was like humans. It was just real synergistic. And there's some equipment cards like, you saw the 2 equipment cards that I had running in here. My sweeper was completely the wrong sweeper. And I knew it. I knew I was never going to get there quick enough. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this.
All right, guys. Well then, I'm sorry. All right, let's jump into the outro, guys. Let's talk about this. All right, so I finally got a win, although I feel a little bit dirty about it. I'll be honest.
I gotta tell you, I feel a little violated.
I have a bit of a confession, and we kind of talked about it. Obviously, the deck that I ran this week was not as janky as we've seen in previous decks and previous episodes, but I felt like I needed that win. If I win no other games from here on out, I am okay. But I got you to minus 358, which feels pretty good to me. So I'm good.
I'll bet. I feel like I got bullet wounds all over right now. It was good. And we've said it before. It's a very fine line between jank and viability and keeping them both intact. And I mean, your deck had aspects that if you were running an elf deck, just strictly elves, you probably wouldn't have added in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
definitely.
where you take the viability and the jank and kind of blur the lines and throw it in a Craterhoof, man. Craterhoof,
dude, so sick.
What is with him?
Yeah, so my thought was when building the deck, because I was like, okay, I could go in a number of different ways, and actually the first iteration of the deck did not include Craterhoof, but did have Oracle of Moldiah, as well as the Realmwalker. Did not include Coco. It only had creatures and lands, and so the idea was that if I had Oracle out and I had Realmwalker out, I could literally just play through the whole deck. Like that was going to be kind of the jank aspect of it.
Yeah.
It didn't work in practice. I took it on the ranked ladder and I was like, this is bad. It really didn't work at all. And so I then ended up trying to go like a Golgari style where I had some of the like Avengers and things like that in there. And then ended up landing on like, no, I kind of just want to include a little like hints of those little jank pieces like the Realmwalker and like the Marwyn and like the Craterhoof, but didn't necessarily want to focus too heavily on any one of them. And I mean, it panned out, I'll be honest, but yeah, I do feel a little dirty.
No, don't, because had you played it without playing Coco, I would have thought you were nuts.
Yeah,
because
you have to include it.
That kind of has to go, especially elves.
Yeah,
the creature cost there, but yeah, no man, that Craterhoof Behemoth was a nice touch.
Yeah, I love
great.
That. I know it's not technically an elf, but it is a classic finisher for elves, so I felt justified in throwing that in there.
And who knows, maybe the elves actually, care for the Craterhoof.
I like to think they do. I'd like to think
they do. I would.
Family. I would. I would do whatever that thing told me to do. That thing is massive.
Looks like a Star Destroyer from Star Wars walking through the forest.
Well, dude, talk me through a little bit of the deck building process for your Goblins build, because you had some very interesting pieces, and like you mentioned the artifacts, like having some of those equipments in there, the Shadow Spear in particular, like that to me isn't a card I would expect in Goblins at all, but it adds a really nice aspect because you're aggressive with the Goblins anyway, and so getting that lifelink in there just seems like a no-brainer. But I wouldn't have thought of that building Goblins, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. But there was one card. I'm gonna get back into the deck list here, so I can actually see what I'm talking about. Goblins isn't my jam, so I'm not used to all the names off of these cards. But okay, so who is it? Muxus?
Yes, Muxus, dude. So
Muxus is in here too, and the whole idea was to do the trample fling with Muxus to get to that. And then, of course, I found Munitions Expert when I was looking, and that card's just absolutely ridiculous. It's the 1 black, 1 red. When it drops in, it does damage. It's got flash and does damage equal to the amount of goblins you have.
Yep.
A lot of fun. It was just a whole lot of synergy. I thought about doing just haste, and I think it's Cavalcade of Calamity.
Yeah, something like that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
If you attack with a creature that's just 1 power, and it pings for damage. And I was thinking about doing stacks with that, but it's been done. It's actually been done in standard fairly recently. So
it has.
I wanted to stay away from it, but I figured, the Shadow Spear and then, of course, the class reunion with Embercleave, man. Who doesn't like a good Embercleave?
Who doesn't love Embercleave? If you're a mono red player, man, they printed Embercleave and everybody was like, all right, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I think there's even Embercleave tattoos out there on people now.
100%. So. I'm one of them. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's sick though. I like that you found some kind of like just some little pieces that again I never would have thought of. I definitely had an idea that you were gonna go with some of like Muxus. I expected Krinko. I mentioned that during the games, and some of the little guys like Fanatical Firebrand. I was like, yeah, okay, that's just a good include. It's goblins. It pings. Go for it.
The one that I didn't get to drop that I wanted to. I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Was that I had mentioned before the game. I was like, oh yeah, he's a goblin.
Yeah.
Is Grim Wonder. I actually like this card in standard. It's so it's a 5/3. It has flash, and it's a 2 cost. It's 1 colorless, 1 black.
Okay.
And you can only cast him into the field if another creature died.
Oh.
Dealing with a 5/3 fairly fast is kind of pretty hard.
Yeah.
And he comes into the board fast if everything kind of gets in place. Probably not the best include on elves. Probably not.
Well, dude, I'll be honest. Okay, so in game 1, I had my opening hand and I had 3 forests and then like a smattering of 2 and 3 drops. And I think a Coco as well. But I didn't have any mana rampers. I only had like the lords, and the lords don't buff themselves. And so in my head, I was like, okay, this could actually go either way. I was like, this isn't a great start for my hand. Like, it'll be fine, hopefully. But if you get a good start, which you did, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be screwed. And you dropped that Fanatical Firebrand, and I was like, crap, that just straight kills my Clancaller, which was my only 2-drop. I was like, this is a bad start. I'm gonna lose again. I was like, in my head, I had relegated to, okay, I'm dying.
No, man, it was a hard one. So I did have a good start, but I mauled the 5.
You did,
so,
yeah.
So my opening hand, I had 3 lands, but everything in my hand was a 4 cost or a 6 cost.
Yeah.
And then I mulligan to 6, and I had 7 lands, and I was like,
I felt so bad for you, man.
Don't. Hey, it happens. That's arena. Everybody can complain about the shuffler, but the shuffler's bad for everybody.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
so.
Well, and
I think I just went wrong with the sweepers, man. I used Meat Hook Massacre, and you can outgrow it so fast. It should have been something like, I probably should have went with Shadow's Verdict or maybe Crippling Fear if I could get it in fast enough. Maybe Blood on the Snow. It just really needed to be a giant size board wipe.
Yeah, and then be able to bring something back, and like especially with Blood on the Snow, like if you hit it right, you could have brought like a Muxus back as an example, and then all of a sudden you've got a killer turn, whereas you just sweeped my entire board. And honestly, that's what I was the most worried about was sweepers, because obviously that just wrecks elves. If you pour out your hand onto the field and then you get swept, it's like, well, it is what it is, you know, there it is. But I did have a couple of heroic interventions just in the main deck, and I was like, okay, just in case, I need to have these, because I don't know what kind of sweepers he's going to run, but I fully expect them. And elves doesn't really do removal very well unless I go Golgari, and I didn't. And so I was like, okay, I'm relegated to, if I have it, I play it, and I have to pick and choose that heroic intervention very carefully, because otherwise I am gone. But thankfully, obviously, it didn't work out that way for me. But yeah, dude, that was our quickest game I think we've ever had.
Yeah, no, I liked it though. And that's it though. I mean, sometimes when you're making the cuts and stuff, and that's. It kind of is jank viability is what you built. I mean, your deck just throws everything on the board.
Yeah.
And then it's just smash face. I don't, even if I had sweepers, I don't know that I could have gotten the mana to them fast enough to take care of that board state. That was insane.
Well, it was a fun one. I honestly have a bit of a soft spot for elves. I'm not a big aggro player in general, but elves is kind of like a combo-y aggro deck, if that makes sense. And combo decks are my favorite. And so I was like, okay, this kind of combines those two in a place that I really enjoy it. And I have like a modern elves build in paper that's like up on the shelf over here that my wife plays and that kind of stuff. It's a fun deck. You just get to do so many things with it.
Yeah, well, they're definitely the right creature type. I mean, you can build goblins, you can build humans, you can build a lot of things, even dragons. But if you're going up against elves, that's the deck where you want, if you ever want to see true synergies of a creature type, elves does it.
Elves does it, I think, better than any other tribe.
Yeah.
And that's kind of proven by looking at like some of the old like vintage legacy style formats where you actually have viable elf decks that win on like turn 1 or something ridiculous like that. You know, like you don't get to see that in Goblins and Legacy. Like that's not gonna happen.
No.
But all that to say, that solidifies my first win of the series. It only took me over halfway to get that first win. So I'm feeling good.
Congratulations. No, and you know, we said going in the series, it was probably laid more in line to what I was used to. So you're coming along.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Progress is progress. But man, I've enjoyed it the entire time.
Yeah,
your deck builds make me think constantly. And I mean, I don't think I've ever had so much fun reading cards, but no, it's a different way to play, and yeah, man, that elf deck, prime, chef's kiss, man, very well done.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Well,
I was impressed.
I do want to say, in genuine honesty, like talking with you and working with you on this series, it's one of those things where I feel forced to build a different style deck than I would just immediately go to. For every one of these challenges, I've built a deck and then said, no, that's not going to work, and then tried something different. And I think the most exemplary example of that, which I think is a good sentence to say, was the Azorius Dogs deck for me, where I was like, okay, the obvious choice was to go aggro and go like pack leaders and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, but that's so boring. Like, what if we did something stupid and made, you know, tons of dog tokens in a turn and all that kind of stuff? And I mean, it only got one win, but that was enough for me. You know what I mean? Like, that was the fun part, was just putting that deck together. And I think in working with you on this series, you genuinely have forced me into a position where I'm like, okay, I have to try something different. And that's what the series is about, right? Like, we're here to have fun, try something a little bit janky, try something a little bit silly. Obviously, we're still trying to win, you know, that's cool, but it's kind of secondary to the fun deck building aspect of it. And that's what we, you know, initially, before even sitting down to record, wanted this series to be about. And I think hopefully that shows for everybody watching. I think it does.
Yeah, no, definitely learning and trying to evolve a play style to another player's play patterns. Yeah, and it doesn't seem like a lot of matches. We've only got 8, and this is the 5th one.
Yes.
So it doesn't seem like it would warp your normal deck building skills, but you do start taking into consideration the other players' play patterns and styles, and it does. It just kind of widens the berth of what you're looking at when you're trying to look at the cards and stuff and what you're trying to plan for. And that's like what was it? I was watching a podcast the other day, big names, so I don't want to just call out, but they were talking about the old days when paper was a thing and PTQs and all that kind of stuff, and how they would sit in a house and play like 250 matches in a day just to rewind the match 3 steps and then play through it again. And it was to learn different people's play patterns and what to prepare for when you run into those type of play patterns and stuff. And this is definitely a smaller scale of it, but it's so interesting, man. It's so interesting to watch somebody else build. I love it, man. I love it.
It's absolutely a blast. And, you know, to that point, for those of you who are over on the It Resolves channel or subscribed here, you've probably been around a while, and we had the podcast that we did quite a while back that started the It Resolves channel was with a friend of mine named Will. And he has a family now, busy, doesn't really have the time to do it. But what he and I would do when we would get together to record is we would usually play a few games of Magic, either before or after recording, you know, and it was always a really good dynamic, because when you sit down to play with somebody who is on a level of just like, hey, let's just have a good time, let's see how good we can be, and I feel that dynamic here as well. It's like, okay, what's the best play pattern? And so we'll be sitting down in a game and I'm like, hey man, like I've got a couple decisions here, like I want to make sure that I'm making the right decision. He's like, oh well, you know, how can I help? And like we'd talk through the lines versus just saying like, well, good luck, you know. And it's like, yeah, that good luck aspect is more competitive, and there's nothing wrong with that, absolutely. But like sitting down with somebody who knows the game and knows the play patterns and can find those lines that maybe you either can't find or you do, but you're not positive on them, like that's a very fun aspect. And in my head, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking up a series that would be really fun to do at some point. But you know, that's one of those dynamics that if you have somebody that you really trust and really enjoy the game with, you get to have that experience. And that's something that I think is very, very special about the game, is that you can work together with somebody even as you're sitting across the table from them, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. And I mean, I guess layman's terms, just to expand the knowledge that you have of it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the game. It's just the expansive knowledge you're always consuming knowledge on this game, because the sets come out every 3 months. And, you know, the rotation into the different formats, and like some of these cards I haven't seen in forever. So I've had a blast with it, and it does at the same time my brain hurts. but it's been a blast.
Yeah, dude.
It really has, which is what this is all about, was just let's go have some fun and kind of be semi-competitive. And well, okay, no, it is competitive. I mean, without a doubt.
Oh, I need to win again now.
we can sit here and say it's fun, and it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the ultimate goal is to win.
Of course.
In a match. So, but there are ways to do that, and be cordial and have fun and not spam your emotes for anybody that's listening that does that.
Holy crap, I hate that. That is the most frustrating thing. Nobody ever do that. And if you find somebody that does it, just sit
mute.
there and beat their butt. Like, that's all you got to do. Just own them, because that is the most annoying thing in the world.
It is, man. And I just, man, frustrates me. It's to a point now where I'm just like, I'll just hit mute.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Well, you know what? This has been a very fun week. I feel very proud that I got my first win, even if I felt a little dirty doing it. But
no, that's all right. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That was
I
a
needed
good one
that
too, man. That was a good one.
Yeah, that
you
was a
didn't
good
go
one.
Bruce Banner at all. You went full on Hulk.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one, I thought. Well, guys, next week, if I'm not mistaken, it's Dragons versus Hydras. Is that correct? You have Hydras, right?
Yes.
Oh, you're so stoked, aren't you?
Oh, man. I love Simic.
There's a particular mod in our Discord community, Lady Ziggy, and I will call her out because she's a friend of the channel and just a really nice person in general. She's actually finishing up her degree right now, and she's absolutely fantastic, does artwork,
congratulations.
all this stuff. Yeah, she just told me, like, today. But all that to say, she is in love with Hydras. She's like relatively new to the game, as in the last few years. And I'm not going to tell her whole story or put words in her mouth, but we did a jank deck competition, which was similar to this, but it was a tournament style, so we had more people involved. And the goal was truly jank. So we had to build around, excuse me, goodness, allergies, man, like we were talking about.
We do.
But the goal was truly jank, where we had a build around card, and it was a silly card, and we had to get the card to work, and like that was the deck building experience, but it was still kind of that semi-competitive where it was a tournament style. There was a winner. And I made gaming logos, so like esports logos for each and every team, and we all picked a team. So we were the Charlotte Crabs, because I just thought that was hilarious. She wanted to be the Hydras, and so we got a logo made for her, and it turned out sick. And she did choose a Hydra at some point in the line, I believe, and like kicked butt with it, man. She was a blast to work with, a really great person, but she loves Hydras. So I'm picturing Lady Ziggy here a little bit as we're going into this next week, because I know she will love that one.
That's great. Yeah, man, I love Hydras. I love Simic. I love Teamer, and that's kind of where they fall in line.
Yeah.
Little worried about dragons because I think you've got better removal options.
Probably.
Could still keep your board state with dragons, and they've got the buff abilities built in on a lot of them as well. And they've always got some other crazy nonsense going on. Worries me a little bit, but man, it's Hydras, dude. How can I not have fun?
Yeah, dude, you're gonna have a blast with it. I'll be honest. It's going to be a struggle for me to not do just another Mirror March deck. So I need to avoid the Mirror Marches, because I've already done that joke once. We can't do it again. But I love Mirror March.
Was good. Man. Mirror March was good. And that was the dogs. That wasn't the dogs deck.
No, that was
the spells versus
creatures.
Was it spells versus creatures?
Yeah, creatures versus spells, because my whole thing was like, let me just flood the board with as many Mirror March creature tokens as I can.
Yeah, that's it. And then dogs was your Morty.
Yeah, the Morty deck. Man, that was a fun Morty, deck. Dude. That was a really fun deck.
You pulled that off. I
got it once, and that was enough, because it should never work.
It shouldn't have, but it was so cool. It was so cool.
It was a sick one.
Definitely looking forward to Dragons and Hydras, man. But I think again, Dragons kind of has the upper hand. But
we'll see.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I'm not a Dragons player, so this is going to be a new experience for me, because I'm not that big of a Dragons player.
And before we head out, and I didn't mean to cut you off, my bad. To the Goblins players out there, man, I do apologize for representing you so poorly today.
And to the Elf players, you're welcome. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Elf players are like, we reign supreme.
I mean, we already knew that, right? Like, this isn't a surprise. No, dude, that was crazy. That was a fun one. I feel good. I got my win for the season, so it's all downhill for me for here. But with all that said, this was a fun week, guys. I really do appreciate everybody watching and supporting this series. I know it's a bit of a silly series, but it's certainly a fun one. And I couldn't ask for a better co-host for this. Country Pride, thank you so much, man. I can't wait to jump into next week. Good.
Thank you. Good. Yeah, you're gonna make me shy, man. Yeah, he's great, guys. He's great. Not off camera. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Really is. He's about 10 times nicer than you'd ever expect. So it's been a crazy and fun experience, and I'm absolutely spoiled for anybody else I collab with in the future, man. They better bring it, because this dude's got work ethic like no other.
You're too kind, my friend. You are very kind. I certainly try. Nah, I appreciate that. But dude, it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait for season 2, because you know that's gonna happen at some point. But anyway, guys, stay tuned next week. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. Again, there's exclusive pieces on each of these videos for both channels here, so you do want to make sure you're subscribed and watch both. But all that to say, Country Fried, thank you, my man. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
We're getting out of here, guys. We'll see you next week.